Oh, hello. Hi. My name is Ibuka. I'm a plant content creator based here in Lagos, Nigeria. And let me take you on a tour around my garden. Okay, so here we are. So where do we begin? So let's start from the ground, and then we're going to move inside and take a look at the plants inside there. I know the barricade is going to be a bit of an obstruction, but don't worry, I am going to probably insert B-rolls for plants that you can have a better look at due to this barricade. But let's begin from here. So the first plant is my Ficus Audrey. I've had this plant since it was just so small, and we've been on this journey together for about 2 years, and here she is now, a grown girl. She's growing in this massive pot, and to my surprise, look. And by the way, if you're wondering what this is rat poison, because rats have been harassing me in this my garden. Look at the digging. Look at what they've done to my Hibiscus. So I put rat poison here last night. Unfortunately, this new set of rats didn't fall for it. I hope they do. But moving on to my Hibiscus. Oh, she's flowering. She's been through a lot. Honestly, they don't always look their best during the dry season. It's currently the dry season here, but during the rainy season they look iconic and yummy. And the next to my Thai constellation is my gorgeous Schefflera Melanie. I don't know why people don't talk about this plant enough. It is just a beautiful and simple variegated plant, a beautiful and easy variegated plant, and unproblematic. I'm moving on to one of my most prized possessions. I waited 4 years for this plant, guys. 4 years. My Thai constellation. Oh my god. I just recently acquired this about, let's say, 2 months ago. And look. New growths. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy. So some of her leaves are wilted because she was root bound in the grower's pot or under the grower's care for over a year. She was root bound, but now that she's in my care, give her a few more months. Okay, now over here I've got my Syngonium 3 Kings. Honestly speaking, I do not showcase this plant enough. She is just breathtaking and easy and grows very prolifically. I need to feature her a lot more. So here, and I do think she needs a bigger pot. And then moving on, another one of my favorite plants, guys. I'm already out of breath, and this is going to be a long video. Is my Thenanti Broiler Max. Wait, no, this is not it. This is his Thenanti Lobesia. The name is extremely long. But yeah, if you're having a hard time with calatheas, please get yourself this plant. She's so easy, drought tolerant. Did I mention I also have a grasshopper issue here? Like, I literally am battling rats and grasshoppers. That's outdoor gardening for you. You can't have perfect plants if you want to grow them outdoors. And then there's this, my beautiful baby. This is my Persian shield. Look at, oh my goodness, she's beautiful. She is getting battered by the Nigerian sun though. So even though these plants are like, there's a shade net, it still doesn't provide coverage from the sun that comes in from this angle. This is a rented space, so obviously I can't take it as far as that side. So direct sunlight still comes in through here, and she doesn't like it, so I have to move her. I'm gonna probably move her inside here, but for the purpose of today's video, let her be here so you guys can see her better. And then, oh my goodness, one of my personal favorites is my Anthurium luxurians, X radicans, whatever the name is. I just love her. She's beautiful. So this is a very easy plant. This is a very easy plant. She's flowering as well, and also bringing out. Oh my goodness! What is this? This is a new leaf, and another new leaf. Jesus, she's so happy. She's bringing out so many, 4 new leaves at the same time, and she's also flowering. She is so happy. Maybe I'm gonna have to do a care video on this plant because she's so happy. She's just a happy bunny. Now, on the top here is my large form monstera. So these guys are highly sought after in Nigeria, and they can cost you a lot. So this is also one of my prized possessions. She's beautiful and iconic. Beautiful. I got her when she was just 1 leaf, and these tend to grow much slower than your other conventional monstera. So yeah, she's a beautiful babe, is she not? And then in her pots I have this I believe this is a begonia black mamba, and then I also have some especias I kept here as well. Again, these guys look busted and crusted during the dry season. Maybe I'll insert a picture of how my especia collection looks like in the rainy season. They love the rainy, humid, cool weather. Okay, now moving on this is my Humalamilla Willisi. This is honestly a very dramatic plant. She gets thirsty so quickly, and you can see more of the rats, and they are senseless digging. Oh goodness. But other than that, if you can keep up with her watering, then she's easy. Again, more of the rats, and they're digging. Look, can you just like and then next to that is my variegated ginger. I believe I'm going to insert the name of this plant, but she's easy, unproblematic. It did take me a bit to figure out this plant. Apparently she does not like to dry out at all, and yeah, she likes this is what happens when she dries out, and she likes shades. I was under the impression that because it's the ginger, it's gonna take full sun. No, this doesn't like full sun. And I've got my aglaonemas here. I have no idea what aglaonema this is. I've done an aglaonema tour, so I'm not gonna spend so much time on my aglaonemas. But if you want to have a good look at my aglaonemas, check out the video I have in my YouTube. And then also I've got it's another especia that was gifted to me by a dear plant friend. Oh, and this is one of my favorites. It's an especia, the pink one. It grows so slowly though. It was munched by lizards, so I'm also facing lizards as well. Outdoor gardening has so many challenges. And over here I have a cute small crystallilum. Yeah, so let's not forget this guy here. This is my Pothos Enjoy. I don't see a lot of people growing Pothos Enjoy like on a pole. It's usually trading, so why don't you guys grow it on a pole? And beautiful, easy. Pothoses are just generally easy. Yeah. So how are we gonna do this now? Can you guys have a look at the plants I have here? Let's go inside the veranda, and then I'll try to show you the plants I have inside the veranda. Yeah, let's just do it. So this corner is a bit interesting because it is indoors / outdoors, like, yeah, that type of vibe. I typically keep plants that prefer this deep shade or do not require as much bright light. So I have my aglaonema Snow Queen here. This is my baby. I've had this aglaonema for about 4 years now. When I first got it, she was small and I didn't like it, but she's grown to be so big. I do have the occasional yellowing leaves, but other than that, I love her. Okay, now over here, this place gets like, this is like deep shade territory here, guys, and I've observed that certain plants that actually like it, like this Trachena. Oh my goodness gracious, this Trachena honestly is not easy. And the gag is, shall I blow your mind, guys? This is native to Nigeria. You would think that growing this plant in its native range, it would be easy. No. So it likes deep shade. It doesn't like bright light, honestly. And it likes to be kept moist. So I think I finally figured out, okay, it likes this corner. But it has been a battle since I got this plant. So deep shade and keep it moist. Do not allow it dry out. And then this is my Anthurium pedatum. This is one that also I've come to realize it does not like bright light, like a lot of bright light. It prefers like deep shade. It seems to be really happy here. As you can see, we're quite a bit away from the direct light source, and we still have this shade net. So babes doesn't like places that are overly bright or too hot. And then moving on, this is my bear's nest fern. I'm crossed in between keeping this plant or selling this plant because it gets really huge. It gets really huge. And you guys might be thinking, but you have all this outdoor space. Well, no, I actually had to move and downsize my plants because my landlord wasn't happy that I had turned this entire space into a jungle. So this gets really huge, especially in this part of the world. So I may eventually sell her, but in the meantime, she's in my care and I'm enjoying her. This is my ZZ Raven. I used to be like an ultimate ZZ killer until I learned to actually stop caring for them and neglect them. They like to be neglected, guys. And if you're like a very hands-on parent, you might kill them. I killed several. But now I just let them be. Honestly, just water them when I remember to. And they're fine. I have another one. I'm going to do a separate indoor gardening tour. Probably next time. Because I have some plants indoors. I have a lot of plants indoors. This is my cute humidity. This is a hygrometer or hydrometer, whatever it is. Just to give you an idea of the humidity right now, it is close to 80%. So thankfully, Nigeria is a humid country and I don't need a humidifier to grow these plants. But moving on this is my bears. What I don't know, this is staghorn fern. These guys are also native to Nigeria as well. In fact, if you are very observant and you live in Lagos, you'll probably see these guys growing on the trunk of trees here. So yeah, she's very easy but very thirsty. Oh my goodness gracious, I have to keep watering this plant continuously. Now moving on to this table, hopefully I can show you the plants here. I've got my Rhaphidophora decorativa. This used to be a huge big plant, but I chopped it up and sold a lot. You know, I sell plants, guys. I sell plants to sustain my life in this hobby. So right now, this is where we are, and so far so good. This is a Xanthosoma. Now this plant took me some time to figure out. It likes shade. It does not like places that are overly bright. So that's why I kept her here. This, I bought it and it had like maybe 5 leaves and then it completely died back. And I was honestly about to throw it away until it brought out this leaf and then quickly brought out this leaf. So we're back. Oh my god, this used to be really full. This is actually one of my most expensive plants. It used to be really full, but then this is also a plant that does not like bright light. Growing this plant outdoors has been challenging. This is a Philodendron Sodoroi. So it was heavily sun faded and it just looked miserable. I chopped it back and it took so long to root and propagate. And here we are now with just 2 leaves. And then I've got my Alocasia Pink Dragon. I'm not really big on Alocasia. I just have a few. I tend to lean towards the easy ones. And this is so far, probably one of the most resilient and easiest one. We've had our fair share of pest issues. This was caused by a moth. A moth. Like, you wouldn't believe it is caused by a moth that was just growing and eating its way at the back of the leaves. Outdoor gardening is very adventurous, guys. Now this is also another plant that I do not know what it is. I'll see if I can show you guys. If you can help me ID this plant to Biko. help me hide this. She is, oh my goodness, she's beautiful. She is native to Nigeria. In fact, she was gotten from the Nigerian, somewhere in Nigerian forest. I think it's either some form of Nyptamtis or Cystis. But again, I've observed she doesn't like bright light. She likes partial shade. Let me not say bright light. She likes partial shade. Full shade, not even partial shade, and loves to be kept moist. Absolutely doing well in my care. I love her. She's one of my favorites. Oh my goodness. And she looks so good there. Now let's see if we can peep through the plants, through the barricade. Please just bear with me. It's the barricade came with the house and I can't take it off. But let's go. So let's start off with this is my oldest Calathea. This is a Calathea peacock. Honestly, if I were to rank all my Calatheas, you're going to see more of them at the backyard. This is going to be the easiest one. I've had this for 3 years. 3 years, and I started it off as a small plant. And here we are 3 years later. Peeping through the barricade, we have this begonia that I'm surprised is still alive. Like, oh my god, it does like to stay moist too. So I always try to keep it moist. And I've got this jade plant, it's called a jade plant. And then I've got my Scindapsus black over here as well. Very unproblematic, very easy, very slow growing though. But yeah, I've got my Philodendron tortum here as well. You can see where the rats were trying to dig. Yeah, so unproblematic. I grew this plant from one leaf and it has been quite the journey. So I love her. Oh, and then this Calathea, this is also probably like easiest Calathea, second easiest. This is so easy, and this one can tolerate a bit of drought and it's not as needy as the others. I'm gonna have to bring out these just one by one so you guys will have a better look. The things I do for you guys, it's gonna be stressful, but let's do it. So we're back inside here. This is my, my Philodendron Birkin. This has been through a lot. The sun has been very unkind to her here. The sun we get here can be very harsh. I've had to start her all over again. And here we are. So far so good. So far so good. Next is this cute Aglaonema here. I have no idea what Aglaonema this is, but I do love my Aglaonemas. And check out my Aglaonema tour. And then we've got this Anthurium. This is actually one of my most expensive plants. It's a variegated Anthurium hookery. The grower insists that this is a variegated Anthurium hookery. But I don't know. I don't care to know. As long as it is beautiful, I do not mind. So if you're wondering how I take care of my Anthuriums, keep them moist and loose soil. They love to stay moist. I've got this. This was a gift. This Syngonium. What is that? Is it a Syngonium? Can't remember the name. And then I've got this. This was also another gift. My Alocasia Longilobar. I've heard that this one is easy, but we've been stuck at 2 leaves. So I try not to invest in Alocasias because they will always break your heart. And then I got this Anthurium. I do not know what Anthurium this is. I just saw it for a still and I got it. But if you know what Anthurium this is, please let me know in the comments. And I've got my Ficus Chevriana over here. Got her when she was a small baby. And now she's growing slowly. She's growing slow but steady. And then this is one of my favorite plants, guys. Oh my god. This is one of my favorite. Oh my goodness. Oh, just look. I don't think this footage even does her justice. This is perfect. She's amazing. She's iconic. This is my Anthurium Silver Blush. Would you believe I trips. I lost this plant almost entirely to trips, and I caught it back, and then here we are. Oh, just look at how she looks like. It. Beautiful. I think this should be like my thumbnail, one of my thumbnails. Oh, beautiful, babe. I could spend forever staring at this plant, guys. Okay, so up here, I hope none of these plants fall down. This is my my Monstera Peru. Isn't she beautiful? This one also had a really bad case of trips. Thank God for discovering systemic. Some people feel like you shouldn't use systemic because it's not great for the environment, but when push comes to shove, you have to. That is what saved my plants from trips. And this is my philodendron. What philodendron? What is this? Philodendron brandiatum. This was my wishlist plant for so long. You could tell that I just recently discovered that it had trips as well, but I have sprayed it down. This is what trips damage looks like. The camera refuses to focus, but I can so easily ID trip damage and all that, thanks to what I've been through with them. So I need to give her like something to latch on to. But yeah. Oh, guys, I'm getting tired of bringing out these plants individually. We're gonna just have to. This is gonna be the last one. I'm gonna have to see through the bars, the barricade. This is my Scindapsus. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. My Scindapsus Tribui Moonlight. Oh, beautiful. I love her. I've had this plant now for 3 years, going on 4 years. It grows so slowly, Jesus. Grows so slowly. But here we are. Beautiful. What's the wait? I love her. I love her. Oh, God, how can something be this beautiful? How? Okay, so we still have a lot of plants to look at. And also plants at the back. Oh my God, and I've spent so much time here. Okay, so let me quickly run you through. This is Neon Pothos, Kalinkowi. I kept this Kalinkowi here because the rain was messing up with it. So the rain doesn't get here. It doesn't like rain. This is my Peperomia Angulata, the easiest Peperomia in the world. Like seriously, get this Peperomia. And of course my Neon Pothos. I've made many plants from this mother plant. So we are finally done with this. Well, as you can see, we still have more plants. So let's move on. Now this is actually a plant. This is my neighbor's side of the house, the compound, but he told me to please keep this plant here. And I was like, sure. So this is my Schefflera. The Schefflera. I can't remember her name. This is my succulent section, guys, and oh my God, where do we begin? I'm gonna have to give you guys like a full, like detailed succulent tour, but I'm just going to point out some highlights. This is one of my favorite. This is an Euphorbia goldia. Gold. I can't pronounce the name, but I don't see people talk about this a lot. It has beautiful foliage, but also produces beautiful flowers. And speaking of Euphorbia, you guys probably know this African milk tree. This is my variegated oleander. It's a highly toxic plant, highly toxic. My coppertone snake plant. If you watch my snake plant video, you know that this has grown so big. And one of my favorites, this is, oh my goodness, this pricked me. This is my Euphorbia Millie hybrid, the one that just remains small and cute. And I can't leave here without talking about my desert rose. Look at, she's so beautiful. I need to get more of this. This flower of this aloe is blocking the view. I need to get more of this, but they are expensive. Oh, the more exotic ones are expensive. I've got some more interesting snake plants and aloes. I love aloes, guys, I really do. And then this is an elephant bush. And oh, variegated snake plant here. Get some plants here. I feel bad for these guys because I always forget to water them. Some plants here as well. And let's move on. More snake plants. I'm a big fan of snake plants. They're one of my favorite genuses. Also the fact that they are native to Nigeria. Yeah. And this is my crown of thorns. I've noticed that when I see crown of thorns by gardeners in the west, they're hardly flowering or they look really scanty. So these guys need bright light, full sun. If you give them full sun, they will always flower. I've got this my kalinkobe here that was munched away by grasshoppers. And this one, another pest issue. This one, this time of the year, these guys get heavily infested. These euphobias, that, any euphorbia basically gets heavily infested by a moth that likes to breed on them. I think I captured footage of that, and it can really decimate them, guys. Like, if care is not taken, this whole plant can turn into mush because of the moth. I caught on this one early, but the damage was already done. Outside of that, this is usually full of beautiful flowers, but the flowers will come back up very soon, so I'm not bothered. This is the 12th variant. So cute, is she not? And this is my Sansevieria golden flame. Grows so slowly, guys. Oh my goodness gracious, it's slow, so slowly. And what else do we have here? My aloe Christmas carol. This is my room. I have some plants inside here as well. Okay, so moving on, I've got my fidgety fig. Did you know these guys are native to Nigeria? And even though they are native to Nigeria, they're not easy to find here. They're not easy to find, and they're expensive. But here, I want to point out that this one has branched out in so many places, and she has also produced a flower for me. I'll see if I can insert it. If you're wondering what ficus flower looks like, this is it, guys. Yes, this is my Ficus strangularis, and she is flowering prolifically. These are flowers, and ficus pollination is very fascinating. Like, a specific type of moth gets in and breeds there. Like, it's such a fascinating thing. Really, God really has an interesting sense of humor when it comes to nature. So yeah. And if you're wondering what this weed is, it's actually a peperomia. I think a peperomia, I will set the name. It is a weed, but it is a peperomia and has a ton of medicinal properties. It's also edible, as are most peperomias. For some strange reason, my bougainvillea isn't flowering. For some strange reason, I don't know why. Even though it's getting full sun. Okay, I do know why. I think the grower added a lot of manure to this, so it's just producing leaves instead of producing flowers. Good morning. Okay guys, we are at the back and we still have a lot of plants to walk through, but let's begin here. This is my CB Blue Prothos. Isn't she iconic? There was a time these were so rare in Nigeria, and a friend actually gifted me cuttings, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Now I'm like meh, but it's still beautiful though, still beautiful. And here is my Schefflera amati. This can grow to be huge. I love the glossiness of the leaves. It does look like that Tomatophyllum goldii, does it not? Oh, and I've got a few hibiscuses in my care. I was once in my hibiscus era and I got a lot, but oh my god, they are so pest prone. Jesus, so I got rid of the ones I didn't like and I kept. This has beautiful flowers. The flower on this one is, oh my god, impeccable. I'm going to insert a picture. Can you see? Can you see? This is so gross. This is so gross and so nasty. So I'm gonna get my host. And ants are honestly vectors of a lot of things in the garden. but it can also be beneficial to your plants, and I'll show you a plant that has a symbiotic relationship with them. This is my Aglaonema pink moon. I'm not going to focus too much on my Aglaonemas because I've done a separate tour. Now this spot is okay. I've got a few peperomia here, right? But this is mostly where I keep my Hoyas. On this AC vent, the AC is not connected and it is never on, so I don't have to worry about the AC vent destroying them. But I have a love-hate relationship with Hoyas. Like, oh my god, can you imagine? I've had this for like 3 years and this is how far it has gone. Like they don't thrive in my care, so to speak, or they will thrive and then start to decline. This was, for example, this was a huge full pot, and here we are later. So I've stopped buying them. I just admire from a distance, or if you give to me, I don't mind. Also, now over here is my Aglaonema shelf. I have done an extensive Aglaonema tour, so I'm not gonna focus on them. But this is, I don't think I've told you guys about this one. This is an Aglaonema that I don't see people in the West talk about at all. But the unique thing about this Aglaonema is that it grows rhizomatically. It grows on the ground. I just spotted some snails. It grows rhizomatically and it's so beautiful. I love the color. I love the unique shape of the leaves. Beautiful. We have to move on. I love you, but we have to move on. Now I've got my white bird of paradise here. This is actually a very rare plant in Nigeria. Like, that is why rarity is really relative or subjective to where you live, because although this is a common plant in the US, this is rare. Like, this is rare. So this was growing indoors, but I brought her outdoors so she could grow faster and bigger and produce pops that I could make my money from. Yeah, and then this is my variegated lady palm. Yeah, they can be expensive generally, and they are highly sought after. I would imagine in the West these guys will cost quite a lot. Now on this shelf, it's just a mix of things. I brought out my calatheas here, but let me run through from this. Got my Hoya curry that has not grown. This is a variegated money tree. I actually just sold this. So the variegation comes out strong at first, but then it gradually fades. And this used to be very full, but I had to bring her out here. She was in the veranda that you guys just saw, but she was drying out so fast that she was dying. So I had to bring her out here where I could water her. And I've got my ficus. I have a ficus care, guys. If you want to know how I take care of my ficus tinikis and all my ficus in general, then we'll give it a watch. Then this is my philodendron persivide. This was a huge wish plant for a long time. I just recently acquired this, and the rats also have got into this spot, because as you can see, so we are in battle with them. And these are some of my Hoyas. Again, you guys know I have a love-hate relationship with them. This is the one that is giving me joy right now. This is my Hoya curry, variegated Hoya curry. This is my Hoya sunrise. This used to be a full lush pot, but then it declined and I propagated, and here we are. Same story with this. Used to be a full lush pot. all my Hoyas used to be full before, and then they decline rapidly during the rainy season because too much rain will honestly drown these guys. See Hoya merrily, isn't she beautiful? And would you believe I've had this one for 3 years? This is where we are. My Hoyas are honestly not exemplaries or whatever English that is called, or paragons of what Hoya should be. And you know, I've accepted that. I don't really care so much about them. So these are my calatheas. This is a calathea. Girl, I can't remember what calathea this is, but she's gorgeous. I've got my red maranta here as well. I've got my tenanti Borlomax. I've always wanted this plant, and I'm so glad I was able to get it. Again, this one is not a common plant in Nigeria, and this is a very resilient calathea. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I ask myself, are you even a calathea? So resilient. This is a calathea network. I've got a few propagations here. This Citonia that literally almost died until I had to cut it. Citonias, I'm not good with them, and I've got my Anthurium crystallum. People always say this is an easy Anthurium, but for me, this has been the most challenging. It doesn't like to dry, it doesn't like hot places. I think I'm gonna have to even move it. I'll probably move it to the veranda over inside that corner of the veranda where my Anthurium pedatum is. This has seen better days, but I've had this plant for a year. I've kept this plant for a year. I've kept it alive for a year, and that's all that matters. That's a Guinness World Record. Calathea bifolia, because this is the most challenging Calathea, trust me. I've got my Calathea lancifolia. She used to be doing good, but all of a sudden we have this. That's Calatheas for you. I'm not going to acquire as many Calatheas again because they are just unpredictable. Then I've got my, this is a very hardy Calathea though. Calathea vitata, my Calathea, can't remember the name of that. Another one there, can't remember her name. People in the West say this is difficult Calathea, but this is actually quite the easiest one. This is one of the easiest ones. This is my Calathea white fusion. It does have the tendency to revert. I don't know what's up with that. And oh my god, I've been waiting for this hibiscus to flower, and it seems like we're gonna get a flower again. The mealybugs. So I'm just gonna wash it off with my hose. It's a dwarf variant. I can't wait to see the flower. She's going to be beautiful. And then I've got my baby variegated Big Ben that I am nurturing. I have a massive one indoors. Don't worry, we'll do an indoor tour. Yeah, and then obviously I've got this huge, massive Monstera large form. This is up for sale. So yeah, I'm planning to sell this eventually. I've got some this is propagation of my Rhaphidophora decosiva, and look, this is a recent purchase. This was imported, so yes, we do import plants into Nigeria. Can you focus? This is a philodendron white princess. I have one, but it isn't so variegated, so I got this one. Gorgeous, is she not? And what do we have? Oh yeah, this is the sun is beginning to come out. This is my philodendron squamiferum. She's flowering. Can you guys see she's flowering? And this plant has a symbiotic relationship with ants. Let me show you the ants here. Look at the ants are just everywhere. Can you guys see? Crawling. So it has a symbiotic relationship with ants. It produces nectar for the ants to consume, and the ants in turn protect it from pests. So that's why I don't have any pest issues ever. So even though the ants are a pain in other plants, they help to spread pests. With this one, they actually prevent pests. So that's the thing about ants. Now this is my own philodendron, my previous philodendron white knight that just the variegation is quite low, so I'm planning to probably chop her off, and with hopes that she'll give me more variegation. Now over to this side, I've got my philodendron silver sword. I had a massive one that I cut back because it was so infested with scales, eunumerous scales. That's what they're called. Then I've got this philodendron. I think this is a biphenifolium. I don't know. I don't quite know it's what it is, but it's unique, and I don't see it anywhere else. Beautiful. It also has a silvery hue, like this as well. So yeah. Oh, I'm going to walk you guys through this my windowsill, but let's focus here. I've got my Ficus altissima yellow gem. I love Ficus. This is one of my favorites. I love her so much. And then I've got my Ficus ruby here. This is branching out. Yeah, beautiful. Look at this leaves, so beautiful. Okay, let's quickly go on to here. I've got it's my window sill. Downside is I never close this window. Never. But thankfully rain doesn't get inside here, so it can work. I've got my philodendron climbing up. What's philodendron Brazil? And I've got the small variant of this hashtaton. This stays small. Some people will argue that this is the juvenile, but no, it's not. It's still small. Now, this is the only Hoya that hasn't declined on me. This is my Hoya crinkle. She's just growing up the trellis beautifully, has not declined yet. So, but let's see how it goes. And this is my Calicia. What's this? Is this Calicia Pink Lady? Oh, I love her. Grows prolifically, but it will decline as it starts to hang, because these are floor plants. They like to run the floor. So when they start to hang, they start to decline from the top. So I have to make sure to chop, or just grow her on a trough. It's a trough. That's the plan. Of course, we've got our standard classic golden pothos. Can I blow your mind? It's hard to find a trailing golden pothos in Nigeria. It's not hard to find, but they usually grow them climbing up long stakes and poles. So finding a trailing one may not be as easy to get, but they propagate easily and grow fast. So in a matter of months, this will just start trailing. I just propagated this like about a few weeks ago. And I've got this beautiful aglonema here, one of my favorites. And then this fern that just popped out from a pot of my cactus, and I recently separated it. So it was a free plant given to me by nature, pollination of the wind or the birds. Yeah, and I've got my philodendron painted lady. I just recently chopped her off and propagated some, but she reached the top of that pole. I love this plant so much, and I have no regrets buying it. And this is a Dracaena that is also native to Nigeria. So a lot of Dracaenas are native to Nigeria, native to West Africa. This is Dracaena seculosa. And this is a very light, adaptable Dracaena. It can grow indoors in full shade, but it can also take full sun. So the sun I get here can be very harsh, but she takes it, and she's also providing shade for this guy here. So, you know, I didn't like her before, but when I saw that she could take full sun, I became like a fan. And this is my philodendron Dieffenbachia, what's it called? Dieffenbachia reflector. She was prettier before, but now she looks hideous. I don't know why. Oh, this is my back entrance. I tried to fill this up with plants, but you know, it was not practical because it always got in the way. But I do have my hibiscus. Again, the flowers of this hibiscus, so beautiful. I'm going to insert a picture. Beautiful. It's about to flower again, and it flowers so prolifically. So I just have 3 hibiscuses, and it's one of my favorites. And then of course I've got my huge philodendron burgundy. I reluctantly am propagating it, but I just wanted it to grow big. Keep growing big, but now I think it's so big and top heavy, so I'm propagating it through air layering. I talked about air layering in one of my YouTube videos. Easiest way to propagate these guys. And yeah, okay, so over here I've got my Epipermum amplissima. I think that's what's called. Look at it growing everywhere. It's hard to style this plant when it starts vining everywhere, but you know, I'm doing my best. And I've got my variegated yucca. I don't see lots of people talk about this, but yeah, variegated yuccas exist. Did you know that? Unproblematic, easy, and the variegation doesn't burn under the sun. I've got this crouton here that I don't really care about. Now this corner is my least favorite part of the house because it is infested with rats thanks to all this junk here. A lot of this junk I met in the house. The landlord said they were going to clear it off, but they never did. Story for another day. And then it gets very intense sun and also gets a lot of crazy wind. So yeah, I'm still figuring out what plants to keep here. I might not even keep any plants, but this is my plant room. I don't know if you can make out the plants, but I'm gonna do a separate tour of the plant room later on. This is my philodendron Max, variegated Max that keeps bringing out green. The green can very quickly overtake the variegated part. I recently just did a huge chop of this. I cut out all the variegated parts and I'm propagating to grow another one. So that's why she looks quite questionable. And I've got here, would you guys believe that this is a cactus? This is a cactus, produces beautiful orange flowers. This is oh my god, I've forgotten the name. It's a rose cactus, that's the English name. And you can tell the cactus from the spines. Can you see the spines? But yeah, she was quite big and unruly, so I just recently chopped her and she's growing back. One of my favorites. And then lastly, I've got this Aurelia. You know, this is a very great outdoor hedge plant. It really doesn't give you any issues, really. Just come rain, come shine, it just does its thing. Yeah.